Just perfect. Good morning, everyone. Okay, another beautiful day here in Boulder, Colorado. And all we have to do is live in that awareness. We have everything we need to be happy right now. Is there anybody here from another Unity? Raise your hand. We have a gift for you. Okay, raise it high, leave it up. Is there anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand. We have a gift for you, a new car. All right. Okay. Tell you a story. When I was living in New York City, I had a friend, an old guy that was a relative of mine who was from the Ozark, and he never left that area, and he had his own still, and he was selling moonshine, and for some reason he wanted to come to New York City, so I picked him up, took him to New York City, and he was standing, I took him inside the RCA building, he was standing there by the elevator. He said, "What's that?" I said, "It's amazing technology." And he watched an elderly lady get onto the elevator, the doors closed, and then about 30 seconds later, the doors opened, and a beautiful woman walked out. He said, "Wow, that really is some technology. Let me get my wife."
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. Welcome to those who are joining us in person and those of us who are joining online. Thank you for spending a little time each Sunday with us. We got a few quick things coming up here at Unity of Boulder. Starting with today, we have our Conscious Communication class led by Steve Hayes that is always on the second and fourth Sundays. And you don't have to sign up for this class, or it's not even a class, this workshop. You can just drop in. Today it's downstairs from 1 to 3 p.m. There's a $10 suggested love offering for it. So if you haven't ever checked that out, it's a great it's a great way to start your week going forward, is to check out that Conscious Communication workshop. And next Sunday we have a homeopathic principles workshop, who's going to be led by a good friend of ours here at Unity, Wendy Littlepage, and she is a licensed certified homeopath. She's taught this class here before, and this workshop before, and everyone who took it absolutely loved it and felt like they walked away with quite a bit of extra knowledge on how to self-heal and self-care in a more natural way. And that's next Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30. It's $45. You can sign up for that online or in the bookstore or even at the door right before the class. It always does help us, though, if you do sign up for something, to sign up for early so we have a chance to fully prepare for how many people are coming. So please let us know, and if you have any questions about that, please ask us. We are finally starting up a new year-long A Course in Miracles book study group. This is for people who've never taken it or haven't taken it in a long time. It is a year-long course. It's $25 to sign up for it, and an additional $10 at each Monday night that it meets. It starts Monday, March 6th. It goes from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Monday all the way through. So you can sign up for that in the bookstore or online. That's another thing. It definitely helps out our leader of this if he knows how many people are coming beforehand. And that is also being led by Steve Hayes, which is Syntysche's assistant. So check that out if you've been looking to take A Course in Miracles. Now I'd like to ask, she's also our special music today, but I'd like to ask out Marcy Baruch to come out here. We have a very special event coming March 10th. We are going to have a large concert here, which Marcy, who's going to be a part of it, can also tell you much more about.
Thanks, Mike. I'm holding your mic. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So the 13th annual Peace Through Music benefit concert is coming up. I have a message for you all here from Janice Kelly. Do you remember Janice? She's been with me a few times playing the piano. She's just a powerhouse and a love of an amazing woman, a force of nature, a force of God, and everything she does is just turns to gold, and everything she does is so much fun, and there's so much amazing energy to it. And so this is something that she asked me to read to you all, so here it goes. Good morning, friends. I want to personally invite you to join us on Friday, March 10th at 7 o'clock for our 13th annual Peace Through Music benefit concert in honor of the Season for Nonviolence, Yay. Speaking as myself now, this will be my 5th year participating in this wonderful event, and we are thrilled to be hosted by none other than Unity of Boulder this year. Give it up for Unity of Boulder for hosting this event. It will be an evening of incredible performances. Janice, Lisa Bell, Jack Hadley, myself, and a few others that are just going to be like not to be missed. A few different choirs that are just going to raise the roof in song and dance, and we so want you to be there with us. And all of this is in service to the vision of peace in our lifetime. She goes on to say, our beneficiaries are Feet Forward and musical ambassadors for peace, 2 local nonprofits doing transformative work in this community and around the world. You'll have the opportunity to meet and learn more about these 2 amazing organizations as we get closer to the event and on the day of. And you can buy advanced purchase tickets right here in the bookstore today or online using the QR code on the posters and handbills. And I'll have a few handbills on me after the service if you'd like to take some. The prices go up on the day of the show, so get yours now and make plans to join us. And it would mean so much to all of us to have you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You can also get tickets for that on our website. If you go to our website, unityofboulder.com, and go under events, you'll see this event on March 10th, and there's a link there where you can get tickets as well for that. So definitely sign up for that. That's going to be a big show with lots of musicians, lots of choir, and it's going to be real exciting. So that's March 10th, 7 p.m.
Morning. So this is the moment in our service where it's a call for prayer, and we're just going to invite you to grab there's a prayer piece of paper in your pew in front of you, and you can write down any names of people that you would like to just send more attention towards for healing at this time, or there's anybody that's facing a challenge, and it's perfectly fine to write your own name on that piece of paper, and then you'll send them down this way because they'll be picked up in this aisle right here. So if you're on the sides, please pass them over to the pews in the middle. And you don't have to write what the issue is. We all know that God already knows what we need before we ask. This is really about us getting in alignment with this greater power, this greater love we call God or Spirit or Source. And it's really us aligning with knowing that healing is possible and it can happen in this moment, in this collective energy. But we're going to sing this song, Calling Spirit closer to our beings, and Steve, who's the head of our prayer partners, will walk down and collect those beautiful names that will then be put in the prayer box, prayed over all week for a month, and every Wednesday night, and then it's sent off to Unity Village to Silent Unity, and it'll be prayed over for another month. All right, here we go. Join us in singing.
You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. And I'm grateful for you.
And so it is. Amen. And now we have a chance to listen to Marcy Bruce share her incredible music with you. Let's have a warm Boulder welcome for Marcy Bruce.
No matter what is happening in my life, in the world, I remind myself daily in my best moments, God is all there is, and it may not look like that or be that in the world of effect, but in the world of consciousness, where it matters, and in my own capacity to connect to that. God is all there is. And I guess I say it to myself because I know that saying this to myself makes it all the more likely that that's going to be true everywhere in the world. So will you join me in just finding a place in yourself where God actually is all there is. And the moment you feel yourself being pulled to something that's elseness, can you bring yourself back to just one place in your experience that feels like God is all there is, and just be with that. My wings were heavy, I could not fly, haunted by dreams that were meant to come true. Love was there, I could not see it, so the voice of salvation came shining through you. And you said, God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. In the sky of my mind was lightning and thunder. I never could trust it could finally be right. The truth in your eyes said, don't worry, don't wonder. You sang me your song that has shattered the lies. And you sang, God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. And like the shepherd, you pulled me through. When my heart was troubled, I didn't know what to do. Your compassion planted a seed in my life. Now the flowers in me. All the time I'm singing. All the time I'm singing. Oh, I'm singing. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. The chorus again, sing with us. God is we are all, there will ever be.
And while you're standing, let's say thank you, God, for this beautiful day. And turn and meet one another. Make a new friend today and get their name. Thank you. That's so beautiful. Love that song. It's such a good one. And pat yourselves on the back and say, thank you, God, for me. So welcome, everyone. How are we liking this restored sunshine and weather? It's about time. It's been a cold winter this year. Oh, my goodness. Can see it in my hips. I got to get outside and I got to get walking. Boy, I mean, it's just being in this house because it's just too cold to get out there. My poor dog is like, let's go play, Mom. What is going on? So today I am going to talk about Lent from a unity and metaphysical perspective. And I'm just going to read a quote from the book Keep a True Lent, which was written by Charles Fillmore, who is the co-founder of Unity. And he says this about Lent. Lent is the institution of embodying an exalted idea, the idea of cleansing and disciplining both mind and body toward the end of making them more receptive to the Christ ideas. Like many other religious practices, it is too often observed in letter, but not in spirit. And so I'm sure many of you know what Lent is, but I'm going to break it down and we're going to go into it more on a spiritual level. But this last Wednesday was Ash Wednesday, which is the beginning of a 40-day process where we're encouraged to give up something that kind of keeps us between ourselves and the divine nature of God or divine ideas of God. Spirit source, always remember if that word triggers you, find the word that makes you feel deeply connected and loved. So when you go, people that go to the Catholic churches, they'll go get ash on their forehead to be in remembrance, but their philosophy is a different one starting the 40 days. So in unity, this is what we believe this process is about. This is a time to peer into the deep, vast canvas of self, to eliminate distractions as best as you can for a deeper connection with Spirit. 40 days can seem like a lot when it comes to giving up sugar, meat, alcohol, etc. But more importantly, what is gained can mean the difference between a life on a roller coaster with similar outcomes to encountering clarity for a healthy body, mind, and spirit that only comes from a committed journey inward. It's kind of like New Year's, in a way where we make our New Year's resolutions. We have a set time, it's a set date. And if you get the book, Keep a True Lent, which we do have in the bookstore, it's wonderful because it gives you each day a lesson, kind of like the Course in Miracles. So it really helps you go deeper and deeper inward to go into the inner workings of our beings. And it's kind of a time to take the eyes and close them a lot with meditation. They call these the shutters to the world. It's time to go within heart and mind and spirit and really take to task the miracles that can be unfolded when we truly believe that healing is possible, that overcoming any obstacle, any mountain, any insecurity, any grief, any shame, whatever is the thing that is keeping it's between you and this greater power, because we're not really evoking God to come closer to us through this process, which Christianity would want you to believe. We are evoking an understanding within ourselves that this is always in the very midst of us, and it's us. It's our limitations and belief systems that keep us from unfolding ourselves into this greater power that's always moving in and through. We are the ones that block it. So in Unity, or actually in Christianity, Ash Wednesday, in Western Christianity, the first day of Lent occurring 6.5 weeks before Easter, between Wednesday, February 22nd through Saturday, April 8th, is a solemn reminder of human mortality and the need for reconciliation with God, and marks the beginning of the penitential Lenten season. And for Unity, the meta-spiritual perspective, Ash Wednesday represents our recognition of our oneness. Talk about a difference, right? Like we're thinking that Lent is this thing to get favor with God. We're going down the walk of Christ. And in us, we're going down the walk of Christ as he's going into the death. And metaphysically, we see that death as us. You know, all these stories are about us. So that death that he's walking towards is the process of us letting go of things that no longer serve us and facing the things that are keeping us holding on to the things that are limited in a belief of things that maybe even doctors say that are terminal, things that, you know, the world has said you're these things, and we're not believing that God is more powerful than that, right? So moving into this Christ energy and allowing for a miracle to happen over these 40 days. So Ash Wednesday represents our recognition of our oneness, our worthiness. On this day, we resolve to deny the power of outer appearances, which creates the belief in separation from our true nature. Our ritual takes on a very different tone and practice than the Christian one does. So, you know, when you think about the Christian path, there's a lot of ritual and there's a lot of order in it. And what's nice about it is that it's very like, if you do this, it's going to work out, and if you don't do this, it's this way. And in Unity, it's not that way. And so, you know, people will say Unity is so much easier than Christianity. And the truth is that's not true, because you're holding yourself accountable for the unfoldment of your spiritual life. We don't believe that there is a master in the sky that is coming and giving you favor when you're praying more, when you're meditating more, that somehow are calling this energy from some superior being. We are calling and moving into a source of energy that is us, that's moving through us. When we realize that we can, in the end goal, be healed. We don't have to know what the process is to getting healed. It's just the belief and the practice of knowing it's already done. God already knows what we need before we even ask. So the 40 days of Lent have historically been a time of fasting, prayer, and study for those wishing to grow closer to God. It can be a time for personal and collective reflection and transformation. It is a time to look honestly at ourselves and to contemplate our relationship with this greater power we call Creator, Spirit, God, whatever word makes you feel divinely connected. This is a time for aligning ourselves with high vibrational foods, abstaining from outward stimulants like alcohol, drugs, sugar, except for prescribed medicines. By eliminating these physical distractions, a new clarity of mind, body, and spirit washes over us, creating a deepened closeness. Has anybody ever fasted that's been here before? Somebody in the back even said, yes, I heard that. And have you felt how all of a sudden your eyes actually see clearer? You know, as the days go on, you can feel all of your organs starting to turn on like engines in a way that they weren't before. You know, all of these things, everything's starting to fire in this wonderful, wonderful way, and you'll watch that your instincts and your intuition is also firing in this beautiful way, and then all of a sudden your dreams are really clear because you're not polluting the body with any outer substances that it's clearing out in your sleep. You're just pure and you're solid and you're within this wonderful opportunity. And this is just a great chance. And I'm not saying to get rid of all of these things. Maybe choose one, you know. And if you're ready just to do a deep dive, then do all, right? But it's just a matter of what you're facing right now. And if the things that you're facing is taking all of your peace away, are you willing to walk down the path and let this be the thing that dies within you so that you may resurrect into the light bearer being that you're always meant to be? Are you willing to walk through 40 uncomfortable days? Not all of them, but you'll have some days of withdrawal, and you'll have days of revelation of things that came from the past that told you that you were less than perfect, the things that made you feel small, so therefore you started to believe in doctors, and you believed in somebody outside of you that's going to tell you what you should do and what you should, dictate how you feel about everything, right? I'm not saying that any of those things are wrong. Doctors have a place. Everybody has a place. Ministers have a place. But in the end, you should never put your power in me. You never should put them in your doctors. You put it within yourself. You listen to your own heart. And when we clear out the stagnation and the rotting water that's around us because we're doing things we know that are not serving our higher good, when we face that, we are revealed unto the power of our true selves. And that's the resurrection. And we do it a lot in our lifetime, at least every decade, you know. Sometimes a little bit, and sometimes a big one. And if we don't, then we're living a Groundhog's Day of the same thing. You know, it's like a different day, but it's just the same problems. It might be different circumstances, but it's the same one that keeps coming up, trying to teach you and grow your soul this lifetime. And if it looks familiar, then that is of God, and it is time to move into your power. So it's a time for aligning ourselves with high vibrational foods and all these good things. By eliminating these physical distractions, a new clarity of mind, body, and spirit washes over us, creating a deepened closeness with this love energy that transforms all aspects of life when you devote yourself to it. So during the Holy Lent days, which was started this last Wednesday, allow the things that are no longer serving your life fall away. For example, negative emotions, lack of forgiveness. So I just did the physical things that we can do. But the ones that are also deeply cutting and usually tie to us going to sugar or going to alcohol or going to substances are these ones that I'm going to share with you right now. We have to get down to the bottom of what's causing us to go to these outer things to numb us for a while. Negative emotions, lack of forgiveness, negative self-talk, shame, guilt, which can feel like a symbolic death when we face these things. Of those things that have no life in you anymore. See, if you realize they have no life in you anymore, you're no longer going to allow that life being a part of your life anymore. And then with a clear heart and mind, as you recognize what you're saying to the world, what you're feeling with this world, what vibrationally you're aligning with, what you're saying in your mind's eye, and you're looking to make sure that you don't do the negative self-talk and you're not feeling the guilt and the shame, and you're getting out, you're re-changing your programming to one that a Christ being can go out and heal others, right? So what would that feel like and look like to be that kind of a spiritual warrior? Because first it has to be spiritual warrior for self. For mind, body, spirit, through all the chakras, through all of the energies that we have taken on through our many years here. Right? And then look at what we're saying. Look at what we're feeling. And when we see that we're doing this negative self-talk, that we realize, well, I say that all the time. Like, for instance, you want a different outcome, but we keep talking about the thing that's the lack, right? Esther Hicks always says this. So you're saying, I don't have any money, but all your biggest need and want is to have money. But all you ever keep saying is, I don't have any money. You say it to your kids, you say it to everybody, and all you keep doing is, there's no money in that bank account. Because you think that there has to be a job that's going to, that these different things have to happen in an order for the money to appear in your bank account, because that's faithlessness. There's a great video that Esther Hicks did where a woman came up and she talked about how she came to get some answers from Esther Hicks, and she said, I finally got my dreams came true about 8 months ago when I adopted my first child after years and years and years of infertility. And she says to Esther, though, but now that I have this baby that's 8 months old, I couldn't be more fulfilled. But now I have this even deeper longing to carry a baby and to give birth to this baby, to a baby. And Esther said, so the end result, when you were going to go through all that fertility and everything, wasn't about having the baby. You're not fulfilled by having the baby. She goes, no, I'm deeply fulfilled. I couldn't be more fulfilled. Then what is the want for the labor pain to have the baby? And that's so true, because part of us thinks it has to be painful to attain something wonderful in our life. And the universe couldn't give it through fertility with this person. But the baby just landed in her lap. She didn't even barely sign up to get this child. So in her mind's eye, she tried for fertility, none of those things worked, and then in the end, she's given a baby. She got to adopt a baby. She gets all the experiences, that beautiful gift. And she didn't have to do any of the work of getting all big and having to lose all that weight and have to actually have, right? But something that neat is she got the baby without the process she had in her mind. So she's going back, still wanting to relive this kind of karma of loss when she had the gift. Does this make sense to you? Right? This is important because when I watched this and somebody sent it to me, it was like, wow, it's so profound. And then many of us have heard that when somebody adopts a child, next thing you know, they're pregnant. And they've gone through all the fertility and everything else because all of a sudden their mind isn't on getting pregnant. They're with baby. And now the alignment has changed and they just get pregnant naturally. Right? But that wasn't the point. The point is you got the end result and still you're complaining. You still want to make this part of your story of lack. When the universe dropped this beautiful child in your arms, however it came, right? So we have to look at where we do those kind of things in our life. And so I think that's why Lent is such a beautiful process, because it is only 40 days. And it's really saying, I'm going to make spirit first before breakfast each day right now. And I am going to not eat sugar. Right? That's a big one. That's a big one. That you can feel that one. So when I contemplate and reflect on eliminating the distractions that stand between me and God, what always comes up for me is the busyness of my life, the actual pace that my life is heading in, and the very serious lack of adventure that's happening in my world. The schedule that I have to stick by and the deadlines, the emails and texts, and that might be yours, right? So I'm not feeling like I need to quit sugar besides the fat on my hips, but I'll do that here soon. It's just too much inside the house, okay? With the dog working at my computer once again. Okay, so when I look back at who I really am and who I originally is I'm a very untamable, wild soul. In the best way. I'm not irresponsible and I'm good to people, but my nature is like a wild Mustang. I just want to experience all, and I have 3 children that are just like that. And I'm not giving enough room for that person in my life. It's like my life is so regimented. And so if the children are happy, and my husband is happy, and my parents are happy, and you are all happy, then I'm happy. Which is not really the way we're supposed to do that, right? Because in the end, I am not really like, I'm content, but I know I would like to play more, right? And I know it's coming. I'm just putting this out there so that I make myself do it, right? So I'm reflecting in my walks about mothering and about where I can find the time to have more time to play with Mike and get out skiing and do the beautiful things that we have here in Colorado and, enjoy the wildlife and all that. And I am outside a lot in the spring, so I think this is kind of a cabin fever conversation because I really have been in the house too much and in this building, and I'm an outdoors person, right? We all have to get out. We got to get the energy moving, right? So that's where I'm at. I'm in a yes mode. I'm going to choose yes, and when I get invited to do stuff, which I'm invited constantly, I've been saying no, and I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to go play more. So it doesn't have to be food. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It doesn't have to be like it. But if it's something that's in your way between you and God, we have to analyze it, right? So now it's about studying as we go. What is it that you would like to have come into your life in the next 40 days? And I just want you guys to sit and think about that. And cherish and think about what you'd be willing to give up for the 40 days to have a deeper understanding and a deeper revelation. Is there anybody brave enough to share what that is in just a few words? Going too fast and slowing down. Camera shyness.
Anxiety instead consciously cultivate the opposite.
So giving up anxiety and consciously cultivating empowerment and feeling really good. I saw a hand back there. Procrastination. That's great, yeah.
Acknowledging the negative pattern and pausing before I take the same response.
All right, say that again, sorry. I could barely hear you.
Realizing the negative pattern and taking a conscious pause before the same result to it.
So realizing the negative pattern and then recognizing and taking a pause before you go into doing that again. That's, that's a good one, Shelley.
I spend too much recreational time on Facebook.
Too much recreational time on Facebook, so are you willing to turn it off for 40 days? Absolutely. Whoa. Good job, Zelina. Okay. She just clarified, only the recreational time. Her whole career is through it, I do know that. So that makes sense, right? Huh? Trusting in the higher source, right, absolutely. So last night I had a powerful experience. My youngest daughter is now 15 years old, and last night she was in something called a winter showcase, and it was a dance performance of this dance team that she's been a part of for the last few years. And Katya, of all my children, was the least go-getter of all my kids. She's been the slowest to roll into life. She was just kind of an observer that just kind of came in timid about life and tended to overthink the dangers of things before just trying things. And for me, that was really uncomfortable for me because I was the exact opposite. I just dove into things and just got massively hurt and learned that way, you know? So it's just a different personality trait. She tended to be this little roly-poly. She was very lazy. She overate. She was my chubbiest little cute little thing. And I put her in dance since she was a little girl, but she never knew the routines, and she was always the one that was turned around trying to figure out what the routines were. But I still just attempted to, so that she'd get order and see that there's a lot of fun physical things we can do in this world, and it's good for our brain to learn choreography and things like this. Well, a couple years ago, about a year into COVID, school had been closed for the full year, and that isolation, when she didn't have a lot of friends anyway, I think she had one friend, which is in our neighborhood, and then not having any friends when it came to school, and then being home with me and working here, and the isolation took a hold of her. And she went into a very dark and deep depression for a young person. And there was other factors in her life that I can't really share with stuff. But she was concerning me beyond belief. Like this little girl, I know if your parents, they say you are only as happy as your most unhappy child. So I was not happy going through this, watching my kid really struggling. And I would walk with her every day, rain or shine, just to get her moving and just to chat and stuff. And I could just see it was getting worse and worse. And then one day I was walking with her, and what came out of my mouth, and she had this big oversized sweatshirt. She's taller than me, and her hair's all just thrown in a knot, and the hood's so far down I can't really see her eyes or her face. And I was walking next to her, and I said, I just miss your happy, sweet self. Like, it just was breaking my heart. I just miss you, And something about the timing, I know Spirit is just so honorable, it's beyond. When I said it, it was just, she literally just pulled the hood back and just told me her truth, and we walked for 3 hours, and it was just like, this is what's going on in my soul. And I just listened, and I just cried and listened to my daughter share all the things. It was so much past life stuff, so much soul stuff. It was she came in with stuff this lifetime, and I never realized that because she covered up with these cute little smiles and her cute little face and those cheeks and the toes, and she was just always so cute. But now I knew it was like she was in trouble, and that day was the beginning of her life. I feel like that was her birth. And I immediately contacted a life coach, a spiritual life coach, and got her signed up with her immediately, and she was seeing her every other week, because I know as a parent, you can't teach your kids at like that 13-year-old age. They need a mentor that's above them in age, but they'll listen to someone that's not the mom, right? I tried it. It hadn't worked until then. And then the dance opened up right after that, like a month later, where they could meet outdoors. And so she started dancing, and all of a sudden the light is just coming back in her. But now when she's dancing, she looks like a dancer. And I'm thinking, how is this possible? Because she went from being this little, just the cutest thing in those costumes, to serious about it, like very serious about it. And I'm watching this unfoldment happen. And all those girls that came back together had all been in COVID, right? So they're all dancers, and I don't know if we have any dancers in the house, but it's a very competitive world, and it's actually a pretty catty world, and it kind of creates a lot of separation between women, at least in my experience in the competitive dancing world. But what happened, because I live in Lyons, the most holiest, amazing little town, and this is a little dance studio in Lyons that is led by two empowered women, they've created a culture that embraces women supporting and loving each other. And I'm involved very deeply in their dance for adults. And so when these girls came back together, all that competitive, anything that ever existed was gone. And now for 2 years, they're just this team of 9 girls that literally are there every night for hours. And last night they all performed together. My parents were there, we were all there, in this incredible venue at the Planet Bluegrass in Lyons. Has everybody been there? It's just an amazing venue for all of your folk music and all your, like, that great stuff. It felt like a Hallmark movie, honestly, with like the lights and this like supportive, there's like 200-300 people there for a children's dance show. Like, that's this little town. That's how supportive they are. It's just cool. But this time, my daughter's in the front, in the center, for 12 out of 15 numbers, and she's the star. I mean, it was like, my heart is so whole and full, I have no words to watch the death and the life that happens within people when they're ready. The miracle that this girl would become this was not something I could even see past my own fears. But the cuts were so deep in her from other things. But when she was ready, and she had the right mentor to move her towards the power that lived within her, this is a girl that's on that stage, and she's reminding us adults the power of not only spirit, but of community. It was women that brought back her life. It's the mirror of that loving girls from freshman year to seniors. They're all different ages, but they're all completely, connected. We need community, too. We need to be able to share this journey with others. We have to be able to mirror when we're low, to have somebody high to remind us to come back to the light. And when we are high, we find the people that need this love and this light to unfold their being, so we're healing each other. In Keep It True Lent, Charles says it this way: the Lenten season, the season of prayer and fasting that precedes the joyous festivity of Easter. It is commonly believed that the Lenten period has to do with the events of the 40 days preceding the resurrection. The idea, however, has a sound spiritual basis. Moses, Elijah, and Jesus himself set a precedent for it. Each observed a 40-day period of prayer and fasting as a preparation for spiritual work. Moses received the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai at the conclusion of his fast. Elijah talked with God on Mount Horeb at the conclusion of his period of prayer and fasting. Jesus began his great spiritual ministry at the close of his fast in the wilderness. So the number 40 is frequently used in the scriptures to indicate a completed preparation for something to follow. When we consider Lent as a well-rounded or completed season of retreat from the things of the world for the cleansing of the mind and the recollection of the things of spirit, it becomes a true season of preparation for the glorious resurrection of the mind from the darkness of its sins. And sins in Unity means error, or coming up short. doubts, and false beliefs into the light of understanding. Into the light of understanding. In the book Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth, which is one of our most famous youth ministers, he writes this. If you owned a mountain cabin and wanted to make it fresh and habitable after a long winter, would you have to induce the air to enter the doors or plead with the light to stream in the windows? No. The moment you open the doors and windows, the wind and sunshine would surge in of their own accord. This is a good picture of God's relation to our lives. Prayer is simply opening our lives that we may receive what God has always been trying to bestow, conditioning our lives with God. And Khalil Gibran says it this way, for what is prayer but the expansion of yourself in the living ether? So all of these are pointing out that there is no superior man, God, in the sky that is, getting our favor when we're asking, and sometimes we're like, well, can I get this? Can I get more abundance in my life? And God's going to go, well, yes or no. That's not how spirit works, right? Because if you keep getting a no, when you're looking for a decent roof over your head and needing shelter and you need clothes and you need things in your life, that no is being created by you. Because spirit is just order. It's a moving forward energy. And it's always a yes. So when you're trying to get an end result, and you know what that end result needs to be, you have to know spirit is already saying a yes. And if you're getting a no, that is you. And your limited belief system that you deserve it, maybe, or a lack of self-love, or a shame that keeps you from experiencing life and having it eternally and abundantly and beautifully. Because the no comes from you, not from spirit. So what do you really want? So I'm just going to take you into a short meditation, and let's just get some clarity about what we really want. And trust that spirit knows how to get you there, just like the baby that falls into that woman's arms after not having to carry the baby. We don't have to figure out how to get there. You just have to trust that it's coming. So let's just get seated and get comfortable in our seats. So let's just take a deep breath. And as you exhale, let your awareness go inward. Keep breathing slowly and deeply, relaxing into the quietest place that you can find. We're going to look at what we truly desire in each area of our lives. Let's bring to mind your body and your health. And ask yourself in a deep place inside if there is anything that you truly desire that you don't already have in the area of physical health and well-being. After you ask that question, quietly notice whatever thought, feeling, or image comes to you in response. And take a few moments just to be with that response. Begin to imagine that whatever it is that you desire in this area of your life is happening or has happened. What would it be like if you were experiencing the kind of health and well-being that you desire in your physical body? Let yourself imagine that now. You might see a mental picture, or you might just get a feeling of it or a sense of it. Allow yourself to enjoy having what you truly desire. And say thank you for it already coming. Now turn your attention to the area of your work and your career, asking yourself deeply what you most need or desire in this area of your life at this time. Notice whatever thought, feeling, or image arises in answer to that question, and let yourself be with that. Visualize the reality that you desire to create in the area of your work and your career. Imagine it as if it were already true, that whatever your heart is desiring is already happening, and let yourself enjoy that experience. Now you bring up any area where you're feeling an experience of lack or limitation. It could be relationships. It can be creative expression. It can be just a limit on joy and peace and happiness. Do the same thing. Feel what it would feel like to have what it is that you actually want. Find a way to align with that already happening. And gently allow to know that it's already done, and be grateful. Now turn your attention to the area of contributing to the world and being of service. Expressing your higher purpose in this world. What do you most desire at this time in your life in relation to making your contribution to this world? Let yourself begin to imagine this as if it were already happening, just the way you would like it to. And now, last upon the list here, let's turn our attention to envisioning the healing of the world, to be a conduit for the healing of this world. Let's imagine that the world is reflecting that sense of perfection that we are desiring in our own lives. And as we discover and develop our own perfection and wholeness, that we may share this beauty for this world around us. And imagine living in a conscious, healthy, balanced, truly prosperous world. Peaceful world. Loving world. A world that has enough for everyone. In Spirit, we give thanks for this time to remember who we truly are and the power of God that lives within us. And we are so grateful. Amen. We will take an offering for unity now.
Making us aware of that flow that is always available to us. So when we ask you for a donation, we are really asking on your behalf to bring that flow into your life as well. So not for you and this community and the world. I want to share with you that last few months at Unity, we have actually been at a non-sustainable point, below in the red. And so for us, that's a sign that in our collective consciousness, there is some scarcity going on. So we're really asking you to help participate and just rise up that consciousness so that Unity can continue to be this center of unconditional love and light to everyone. So please consider a robust donation today or even during a recurring donation. Again, so Unity can be that vital and shining in its mission to serve you, this community, and the world. And there's a great quote that I want to share with you from Charles Fillmore. See if I can get to it pretty quick here. Let's do this affirmation together, because this is really powerful. So please join me in saying, I have faith in the substance of God working in and through me to increase and bring abundance into my world. Amen. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Steve. So let's just reflect on the wealth that we have. We are so wealthy because we live in this country and we are involved in these unity concepts. And you can imagine, when you compare what we have to the rest of the world, we are so rich. And with that feeling in our hearts now, let's bring to mind that financial gift we want to make to Unity of Boulder. And let's bless that financial gift with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. And we have the opportunity to listen to Marcy sharing amazing music once again.
There's this quote that's been attributed to many different people through the ages that goes something like, work as if everything depends on you, pray as if everything depends on God. This song is an opportunity for us to just open and forget the part where we have to work and just open to the energy of God pouring through us. As Eric Butterworth mentions, let us open the doors and the windows and just see what happens.
There's no piano.
You may know this, it's a Ricky Byers song. Here we go. Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Pour your joy in me, pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour your joy, pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, stand up and sing with us. Let's get a little seaweed dancing going on in here. here. Can we just kind of do this?
in a trance to sing
Like this kind of emotion. Just feel it moving through you. Just this. There we go. Yeah. Here we go. Pour your joy. Pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, whoa. Doesn't that feel good? Wonderful Spirit. Pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, wonderful. Shine your light in me. Shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Shine your light now. Shine your light into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, sing your song. Sing your song into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, sing your song. Sing your song into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Take it away, Brandon. Brandon Doris, everybody. Dance and smile. Dance and smile with me. Dance and smile into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Dance and smile. Dance and smile into my heart. Whoa, wonderful. Let's do that one again. Dance and smile. Dance and smile in me. Dance and smile into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Whoa, wonderful
All right, this is the conclusion of the service, and we want to let you know that we have prayer partners available to you after the service. They're standing here with the white sashes on. You can just stay seated, and they'll take you down to our beautiful meditation room. I do have to make a very sad announcement at the closing of the service that there's a woman that comes to our service every Sunday with her dog, Grace, and she passed away on Monday. And so we're all kind of feeling that right now. And her memorial will be next Saturday at noon, and it's open to all of you to celebrate that beautiful light. She and her husband have been taking care of our garden and our landscape, and
Yeah, well,
it's super shocking. She was like ours. She was like,
she was family. Close, beautiful
so
family.
let's celebrate her on Saturday.
And just a little reminder that the gentleman that is really inspiring you to give fairly and freely has his conscious communication workshop this afternoon. And you may want to get to that because he is the pro when it comes to that, helping you put the nuts and bolts together in the big idea of being a divine conscious communicator. That's Steve Hayes.
All right, let's all rise, and we'll close with I release and I let go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Now it's your turn. Pick it up. I release. There we go.
In the Spirit.
You sound great.
Yes, I'm only here for
That's
God.
it.
No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Beautiful singing. We'll have our discussion group. If you want to discuss this sermon after the service with me, we'll have a circle at the back of the sanctuary back here in 10 minutes. And there's refreshments until then in the fellowship hall. We'll see you in there.